doing a reading for someone that is looking for some insight today. May the divine bring this message to you directly to heal you and help you find self-love. Help you love your inner child. So first one we got is conditioning. This is a lamb. You heard the word sheeple before. It's basically all about that. It's what we all grow up dealing with, the conditioning that basically what the world teaches you. It's also like shoving down your emotions and pretending that you're strong all the time, pretending that you're not human, you know. But when we're talking about conditioning, it's literally that combined with just everything that the world's taught you, where it basically teaches you not to think for yourself, right? So this lion who's you, emerging out of the crowd, standing out, being seen publicly, public recognition for your rebel ways of thinking the opposite way. You know, this is a freedom fighter. This is someone that is making the world a better place for everyone because they've taken the time to think for themselves. They've taken so much alone time, and that's what they love to do, you know, because they learn about themselves and they grow. It's the only way to heal yourself, to take time to think about how you feel and what you really think about life, about yourself, especially that. So this is the present, and that's you, and this is the challenging effect or the block, change. I'm gonna do a little research on that one, but I kind of feel like you might be scared of change. Yeah, it's even thoughts of like not being here. So that's blocking you from being the best revolutionary for the world that you can be. The best leader, the best example. These thoughts are most likely coming from people trying to harvest your energy. That, I mean, typically it's something we're allowing because we're not standing our ground enough, or we're just like allowing our time to be wasted when we need to take alone time. So we're either like choosing it consciously or unconscious. And I know there's situations where sometimes you can't leave, you know. You might just have a situation where you don't have a choice but to live with someone that you are, you know, having your energy be taken from them. I do feel like a lot of people like that get stuck in situations like that, and I'm not blaming you for that. I think the world is needing to evolve and help people despite what they do to put their energy back into the world. Despite what that is, they need to have everything they need to live. So that's kind of like what you're probably learning as well, and the fact that you're someone that breaks conditional thinking. You're realizing like, hey, this world needs to be you know, actually free, and it needs to stop having to bend itself to these rule makers that also break the very rules they create so that only they can have what they want and we have nothing. That's the whole purpose, and that's why this like breaking traditional thinking has caught your attention, because you just knew and felt something always deep down needed to be different in the world. But you know, the solution to, like I was saying with the challenging block, where someone's taking your energy. You may even feel like the world's taking your energy because you're having to think about all of these solutions to global issues. It's just the answer is just to go with the flow. Again, take time to yourself to recharge, because you can't just keep pouring on empty. Nobody can do that. And sometimes you just have to remind yourself of that. Next card is nothingness, no thing. And that is just the, usually a card I pull for chaotic people. Could be talking about someone around you that's chaotic. Maybe you feel chaotic, or you might be divine masculine. But this card is just reminding you that we're all part of the nothingness, like empty space. You know, black is all the colors, right? So it's just reminding you that we're all one. We're all everything and nothing. Like, that's what nothing is, you know. And then we have flowering, which I'm going to read up on. This one. Yeah. It's the mastery of the physical, Queen of Rainbows, which I think says something altogether. You know, she's pretty. She seems abundant. Yeah, oh, that's the first thing it said. Living in abundance. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, she just kind of reminds me of like some motherly figure, and it is talking about the seed of who you are. You know, you're the seed that you've planted within yourself. The realization of the world needing to be free and evolve in empathy, that is a revolutionary act, just to know that. But that usually comes from self-reflection, and that is the work that you do to love yourself. Like, that's what self-love is. It's literally just self-reflection. Looking inward and being empathetic towards your inner child. And I'm not saying that you're going to do this and dismiss people that you might have caused chaos to. Because the more that you understand empathy for yourself, the more you understand empathy for others. Okay, but if we're going to be in the chaos energy, that would be dismissing your own feelings and therefore dismissing empathy and feelings for other people, which is what causes them pain. It's what causes chaos. You're feeling like, you know, you're in this garden and it says flowering, right? That the seed is flowering. You're blossoming. And the next card is participation. So, like, this global participation in this work that you're doing to blossom as this lion that is no longer going to allow the things in their life that make them feel like they don't want to be here anymore. You're not allowing that anymore. Okay, you have way too much important work to do here on this planet. We all need it, you know, like you're doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for everyone simultaneously. So doing the service and self-reflection and self-love, empathy for your inner child, that literally helps the whole world on a global level. Just doing it for yourself, because like I said, when you do it for yourself, you're able to do it more so for other people. But since we're all connected and we're all, you know, all the colors together as one, we're all one, so your self-love affects us without even interacting with us. You know, that's what empaths understand, because they're just natural connected to everyone feeling that all the time. It's an instinctual thing. They don't need to think twice about it. But for other people that are the opposite and think differently, they have to work at this, and the only way to master it and to work on it is to serve other people, to do physical labor to help someone, to help them with the stuff that they need. And that gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of real confidence, because you know that you're valuable to someone. And that's what's missing with these people that feel like they're empty black holes, the chaos creators. They feel so empty, and they think the only thing to numb the pain and to avoid how they really feel is to create chaos. They feel comfortable in it. And then we've got this one. So I do feel like we're dealing with someone that is a divine masculine, chaos, divine negative. Let me just set these up in order so I can see where I'm at. Whoop. Yeah. Okay. And then, like I was saying with the chaos creators, they avoid all of their emotions. It gets shoved down since childhood, and they feel like they have to protect themselves with this ice, this false sense of who they are. They feel like they can't be their child self, their real self, so they block and avoid all their emotions, and it makes it hard for them to cry and really feel their emotions. So this is how you're seeing yourself in the moment. This is a mask. This is typically a narcissist card. The snakes, the mask. There's a grinning guy behind it that he's happy he got away with something, basically. But this is the chaos that we're talking about. It doesn't really bring them happiness to hurt other people, but because they're so buried, their inner child's so buried deep down, they are disconnected from their own emotions, and they really just out of, trauma, want to cause other people trauma. So that's something to remember about. That's how you see yourself. And you could even just be watching this because you're dealing with someone that's divine chaos. And this is how other people see you in this situation. So projecting your belief system or what you think about yourself onto someone else. So if you're someone that likes to cause chaos, then you're going to assume that everyone else is like that, or the people you're talking to are like that. But that's just not true. It's not logical to think everyone is going to be like you. And I think the more you realize that about yourself is that, you can be yourself. You can be vulnerable, especially if you're alone. Like, why not just do that alone? If you don't feel comfortable being yourself around other people, be yourself when you're alone. Be your inner child. Feed your inner child. Like, you could watch movies that you used to watch as a kid just for nostalgia. You could play games. Honestly, even just hanging out with kids, like even if it's just online gaming or something, it really heals you because they're just full, expansive, they're not conditioned by the world yet. They're free spirits, and that's what we need to get back to. So they remind you how to do this. They remind you that life is really just all about love and joy and peace and being in the moment. Like, kids are so in the moment, they're so creative, they're so fun. So I would recommend just being around them if you're feeling like socializing, and then when you know that you need some space to, just be a child in your alone time. Okay, and then we've got, let's see, this is, and then totality, which is being your fullest self. Let's just cover this guy up because it's not really important to think about who we show the world anymore, who the world wants us to be. It really destroys our lives to do that. It causes severe depression. It really affects your mental health. And that can turn into physical illness. So, totality, just becoming your total self, integrating your inner child with your daily life, especially while you're alone. If you don't feel comfortable doing it around other people, you might need new friends or whoever if that's the case, but also, regardless of being able to find those people now, you just need to focus on yourself and doing that alone. So you actually got 2 cards for the end, integration and breakthrough. This is the final outcome. Okay. You're having this breakthrough, you're having epiphanies, and you're integrating your inner child. You're integrating your self-love. That is the breakthrough of the ice. You see what I'm saying? And then here's you as the lion, the spiritual leader that you are. So that's it for today. I hope this helped give you some insight and helps you on your self-love journey.